Good evening and welcome to my live today. Today is a solemn moment as we honor the life of the one and only Dolly Parton, born January 19th, 1946 in Pittman, Tennessee. Today she gained her wings. And I don't know about you, but I love country music. I've been listening to country music since I was a very, very, very small child in my big mama's house because my big mama loved country music. She loved wrestling, and there was just a lot of stuff that she exposed my sisters and I and the rest of the family to growing up. And so, waking up in the morning, a lot of times you can hear my breathing is a little which color now, but beyond that, waking up a lot of times we would hear Dolly Parton singing, and I think one of my favorite things to hear her say, or one of the things that made me know a little bit about geography, was when Dolly Parton would be like, "Come to Tennessee, we're playing your song." Da-da-da-da. And that was like the anthem that got people to come out and visit Tennessee. They had the Pigeon Forge and all these other places that you could go to in Tennessee. And I really wanted to go to Tennessee just because Dolly Parton told me to come to Tennessee. We're playing your song. And so today I'm going to, I guess we can start this live off with a message from the, excuse me. First we're going to start it off by getting my breath together. And then, excuse me. As you could excuse me for a moment, the next thing we're going to hear is Dolly Parton's nephew, who alerted us to the fact that she had passed away. And here he goes. Hi, Bunny Joy. How are you? Are you a Dolly Parton fan? Hi, Carol. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. If you are a Dolly Parton fan, go ahead and drop your favorite Dolly Parton song in the comments. If you don't know who Dolly Parton is, that's perfectly fine because we can all. Hi, Danielle. Hi, Time. Time for fun with Z. I too love Dolly Parton. She definitely, was a voice that was inside of my head a lot growing up, and I know that she loved her husband a lot. And sometimes when couples who are up in age, one of them passes away, the other one doesn't stay around too long. So I feel like she stayed around a little bit longer than maybe a lot of people who thought, that she would go quicker because he had passed away. And it was good to have her still here. And the interesting thing is, just a few weeks ago, she said that still at her age, she still had so much to do. But Dolly Parton did so much. I don't know if you ever got any books from her reading program or if you ever got a chance to visit Tennessee, but she was one of the most giving singers in the world. And just to know that she is gone is just a little bit, it's just a little bit sad, but also we know that she lived a really, really good life. And so we are here today to just honor that life and pay tribute to the one and only Miss Dolly Parton. So
Seaver, son of Cassie Parton, and I am representing the Parton and Owens family today, announcing the passing of my Aunt Dolly Rebecca Parton Dean, sister, sis, Aunt Granny to one generation, and Gigi to the next. This video announcement is something Dolly asked of me years ago, before I fully absorbed it as a future reality. As her head of security for more than 2 decades, a role my father Larry held before me, I have imagined the heaviness of this moment, but haven't truly felt it until now. It is an honor that is mixed with absolute pride and great sadness. But sadness lies with us, not with Dolly. Dolly has lived in the light and is in the arms of Jesus, surely met by Carl, her parents, and countless others who have watched her and longed for her to meet them in the heavens. I first went on the road with Dolly as a kid, getting a taste of the road life in the early 1980s. Dolly opened doors not just for me, but for her entire family to reach the potential we didn't even know was possible. Dolly also opened doors for generations of singers, songwriters, musicians, and dreamers from every walk of life and across every continent. By her example, we believed that anything was possible. She never saw a door she couldn't open, and the doors she opened made and changed history. My family and I have shared a lifetime of beautiful memories with Dolly, but so have you. She has always been on your television, your record player, your CD, and on your phone playlist, becoming an extended part of your family, whether you liked it or not. Our family and the team she has entrusted with her legacy will work diligently to ensure her spirit will live with us forever. Dolly was a farmer, just like her daddy. He farmed the soil, she farmed songs and happiness. Dolly called me and said she wants to rest in a beautiful bed of plush cotton because after a life wearing heavy rhinestones, she finally deserves to be comfortable and have some rest. Rest in peace, Aunt Dolly, Aunt Granny, Gigi. May God bless Dolly Parton, and may God bless you all. She will always love you.
and we will always love her. If you are just joining, welcome in. Thank you for joining this live. It is with deep sorrow that we all recognize that we lost a true gem in the world today. Dolly Parton, who lived to the beautiful age of 80, has taken her leave, developed her wings, and she's gotten up out of here and leaving us all behind so many memories and melodies that she left through her songs. So just this live is for an appreciation of Dolly's life. If you're a Dolly Parton fan, you can drop your favorite song in the comment section so we can do maybe a karaoke or just go through the lyrics. Dolly Parton was a writer, she was a philanthropist. There was just so many things that she did to make the world brighter and lighter for all of us. And I just felt that it was just a good time to come on and appreciate her life. I did a live about Dolly Parton probably sometime last year, and I did a write up about her, excuse me, because she had just released another album. And I think a lot of people within this newer generation, or maybe people younger than 20s or things like that, didn't get the same Dolly Parton that a lot of us got. But if you are here and you love you some Dolly Parton, you miss some Dolly Parton, you have a Dolly Parton song stuck in your head, go ahead and drop it in the comments. I would love to pull those lyrics up just so we can pay tribute to not just her writing, but also her voice and her singing and all of those things. Her nephew, the last thing he said on that final video was, "I will always love you." And maybe we'll start with the lyrics to "I Will Always Love You" because that was one of her most famous songs. She had a lot. She had a lot of famous songs, but I Will Always Love You had multiple renditions, and just hearing her sing it, hearing Whitney Houston sing it, and there's some other people who have sung I Will Always Love You has always been a treat. So again, welcome to the live. Thank you for joining. This is in honor of Miss Dolly Parton from Tennessee. And I sung it before, I'll sing it again. Come to Tennessee, we're playing your song. That was my favorite thing to listen to her sing. Even though I loved listening to her sing Jolene too. But that one, because it was an invitation. It was like, come over to my house. Let's have dinner together. Let's have fun. Let's have some food and all of those things. And it just felt like she was inviting people to come and visit her and come and see her. So if you like Dolly Parton, love her, go ahead and drop something in the comments. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. So, if you know this Dolly Parton hit, drop it in the comments. I'm just going to play a little piece of it. Just play that amount, because that was the part that got you up and on your feet and got you ready probably every day. Hello, Dolores. Hi, Steven. How are you guys? Welcome in. We're here talking about Miss Dolly Parton, who unfortunately has, well, not unfortunately, but fortunately has gained her wings today. And we just finished listening to her nephew talk about her life, and we were going through some of her songs. And so I am asking you, if you know Dolly Parton, drop the name of this song in the chat. I love Miss Dolly too. So Dolores, that means you probably know that song. I don't even have to play anymore. You probably can just drop it right there in the chat. And we'll know exactly what that song is. What is it, Dolores? I'll play it again. I'm going to stop it right there. We are paying tribute to the one and only Dolly Parton, who has gained her wings today. Hey, you know it. It was. She tumbled out of bed and she stumbled to the kitchen, poured herself a cup of ambition and yawned, and she stretched because, like Dolores said, she had to go and work that 9 to 5. That is definitely working 9 to 5. And boy, let me tell you something. I don't know if you guys have memories about this song, but I feel like today we need more songs like this so people can feel motivated to go to work. I think having a song like that kind of got you up, got you through that whole process. You were just singing Jolene a couple of days. Let me tell you, Jolene. I went to I went through this whole process of giving Jolene so many characters. But also, when we talk about Jolene, I always wonder if Jolene was okay. You know, having such a big person make a song about you, there had to be some people who knew who Jolene was, you know? You know, there were some people who knew exactly who Jolene was. And even though we don't know the real version of who Jolene was, those people knew. And you know, when you're people in people's business, then there's some drama that comes from it. So I just want to know, like, all the drama and stuff. Exactly. You know, I know Dolly Parton, she talked a lot about how she wrote the song and how the song came about. And it's cute and it's funny at the same time because she was so protective over Carl. She just loved him so much. And when she wrote that particular song, you know, she had been like traveling and on the road and doing all these other things. And when you're a person and you're working and you're out and about, there's always some type of temptation that might be coming for the people you love. And so she wrote this song, and when she wrote it, I just always wonder what was it like for Jolene hearing it? You know? What was it like for her? What did she do? Did she back off? Did she get more intense with Carl? What did Jolene do? You know? And the thing about it was Dolly was so sweet that instead of her being like, Jolene, I'm coming for your neck, or saying any mean things to Jolene, she basically she was upfront and she was honest, and she was like, listen, Jolene, listen, I know how special women are, and I know how special women can be, but I'm just begging you this one time, please leave my man alone. Go find another guy, a different guy, because my man he is a little bit sensitive and he might fall into the temptation, and I don't want to deal with that heartbreak of losing him. So please, please, please go find somebody else's man and just leave mine alone. And honestly, if we think about it, that is probably one of the nicest women's anthem, like a woman to woman song. There's so many women to women song where women ask other women or talk to other women about their men, and that's one that's on the nicer side. You know, if we looked at those lyrics. Hi Louise, how are you? Welcome in. So if we looked at those lyrics, he says, Jolene, 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 Jolene. Oh, I'm begging you, please don't take my man. Jolene. Now, for her to call this lady's name 8 times in the first verse, she's just making sure she's being heard. Like, I am calling your name. Please hear me. Please don't take him, even though you can. Your beauty is beyond compare, with flaming locks of auburn hair. Oh, she was a redhead. With ivory skin and eyes of emerald green. Have you guys ever met somebody with green eyes? Green eyes will get you every time. I'm telling you, they will get you every time. And so Dolly Parton saw those green eyes and she knew exactly what she was up against. Your smile is like a breath of spring. Your skin skin is soft like summer rain. And I cannot compete with you, Jolene. It feels like this song is also in ways a love song to Jolene. Like as much as I think like what happened to Jolene, how is she after this song was made? I feel like the way Dolly wrote it, she wrote it in a way where it was appeasing to both her man and both Jolene to be appreciative that this is another woman who is coming for me. She's talking to me, but she's not doing it disrespectfully. And funny enough, she's saying all of these nice things about me. What in the world? And so she goes, and I can easily understand how you could easily take my man, but you don't know what he means to me, Jolene. He talks about you in his sleep. There's nothing I can do to keep from crying when he calls your name. Jolene, 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 Jolene. Please don't take him even though you can. Jolene, 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 Jolene. Please don't take him even though you can. I had to have this talk with you. My happiness depends on you. And whatever you decide to do, Jolene, and you could have your choice of men, but I could never love again because he's the only one for me. And that right there is going to make me cry because when you think of her saying something like that, she is basically acknowledging that this other woman is beautiful. She has charisma, she has charm, she has all of these things. But she has everything, but I would prefer for her not to use that everything to take the one thing that is my everything. Go out and get somebody else, anybody man but mine. And it's a little bit heartbreaking that she felt that, you know, that was the only man that she could ever love. And it's not heartbreaking. It's very romantic. It's very romantic that Dolly Parton had such a love for Carl. Such a love that she begged a woman. And not just begged a woman, but also gave that woman so many different props. So many different compliments to ask her not to take her man. Are you saying the song Jolene is overrated, or what are you saying is overrated? Do you think that Dolly Parton was a poor singer? Oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to pull up a Dolly Parton voice. She was just doing, yeah, she was. I think they say that her last appearance was, her final public appearance was at her own truck stop. She had a black tie gala at a rest stop off of I-65 in Tennessee. And that was her final appearance. It was the opening of her truck stop. At 80 years old, she was still out and about doing what she loved, making music with the people who she cares about most. I agree, Raymond. I agree. I was talking about her book program, but a lot of people don't understand like the length of philanthropy that Dolly Parton actually put out into the world. It wasn't just her book program. She had her book program. She just gave a lot to a lot of different people. She did childhood literacy, she did medical research, she did disaster relief, she did higher education support. She founded that Imagination Library in '95. She had the Dollywood Foundation, and that foundation just did so much. So So yeah, Raymond, I agree. I feel like a lot of the stuff that she did, and honestly, I don't feel like she did it for the clout, or she did it because, hey, look at me. Like a lot of, like, some people give just because they want to see who's watching them give. I do not feel that that was the reason why Dolly Parton gave things away. I feel like she gave stuff away because that was at her core who she truly was. It was who she truly was, and also it was just in her design to be that type of person for the world. And so we're going to, because somebody said something about her voice was being overrated, we're going to see if we can hear Dolly Does Rule Terrible Time. Before I play this song, does anybody know what song this is that is coming on? Rest in peace, Dolly. That's right, Russell. Rest in peace to Dolly Parton, who we have now lost to, I feel like, maybe age. Of the way That's right. Everybody loved. It's really hard to find somebody who did not like Dolly Parton. You know, I feel like if you did not like Dolly Parton, then that was something that you had to take up with whoever it was that had you feeling that way. But fun fact, I don't know if you know this or not, but Miley Cyrus was Dolly Parton's goddaughter. And beyond the, like, some of the things that that not Molly, but that Miley Cyrus does for entertainment, she has a beautiful voice. Miley Cyrus has, like, um, her voice is to die for. So when she and Dolly Parton performed Wrecking Ball together, I said, don't you ever say I just walked away. I will always love you. And so I love to hear when they would sing together because, again, beyond the stuff that Miley Cyrus does for entertainment, when it comes to somebody having vocals, Miley Cyrus has a voice. And I guess when your dad is Billy Ray Cyrus and your godmom is Dolly Parton, it would be kind of hard for you not to have a voice that is. But let me not say that, because there's a lot of people who come from very strong singers and they don't have nice voices. But yes, Raymond, she had a beautiful voice. I agree. Somebody had said earlier that she was overrated or she didn't have the best voice, and I just wanted to dispute that. Because it was just not true. But We've reached a point again where we try to figure out if you know Dolly Parton and if you know like her music, and so I am going to play a snippet from another one of her songs just to see who knows Miss Dolly Parton. Here is the snippet. Oops, almost played the lyrics there. Dolly Parton. That's my first time hearing that, Godzilla. Let me see, what does that mean? Fun fact, when you type that into a Google search, you come up with these t-shirts. Can you see that? It's a little bit blurry, but when you type in Dolly Parton in Google, it gives you these t-shirts. So straight from Dolly herself to you, Godzilla. And here is the song again. If you know what song this is, drop it in the comment. Gosh, guys. Looks like I keep playing the lyrics. And that is not my goal. My goal is not to play the lyrics for you. If you have a favorite Dolly Parton song, if you have a favorite Dolly Parton memory, drop it in the comments, because this is the time and space where we honor the life of the one and only legendary Miss Dolly Parton. Oh no, Godzilla, she just passed away today. Her husband passed away a few months ago, but her husband passed away a few months ago, but she passed away today. Oh, maybe that's why. Yeah, I agree, Godzilla. Sometimes they say when people get older and they lose somebody that they love a lot, that kind of, it's something called broken heart syndrome is a real thing. And with broken heart syndrome, maybe that was what took her out of here, which is sad and unfortunate because, she just, like she said, she felt like she still had so much more to give. She had so much more to give. And like I was telling you all, she was the godmother to Miley Cyrus. And so we're going to take a little bit of a brief moment in remembering her life to hear what Billy Ray Cyrus had to say about her being Miley's godmom. So
every day I had it Dolly Parton, but it's kind of I wish it was complex, but it's actually, when Aki came out, Dolly put me on her tour as an opening act. It wasn't long after that some of the headlines in the tabloids had Dolly and myself as, pictures of us and saying
she
something
would definitely
was
be
going on.
missed.
And I was so upset about it. I was afraid that she would be upset. I just hated that I really hadn't met her. And so I told my manager, it was a National Enquirer, I said, you think I could go meet Dolly and tell her how sorry I am about this? And my manager said, yeah, we're going to make that happen. So before my show, I went to Dolly's dressing room, and they escorted me in, and Dolly's sitting there all beautiful and just like an angel. And I came over and said, Miss Dolly, I'm so sorry about this. And I laid that tabloid on her dressing room table there, and it was right in front of her. And she looked at it, and then she looked at me and said, honey, that shit sells records. And I was, and we laughed, and I never thought about it. Like, from that moment on, we became very good friends. Little did I know at that time, some 15 years later, she would end up becoming Aunt Dolly on Hannah Montana.
Dolly Ray Stewart, I am not going to let you lie around here on this couch, drowning in self-pity and drooling all over my dry clean onlys. You got to move on.
And then her and Miley actually just fell in love. Like, it was kindred spirits. That sounds silly, but no, they were absolute. You could just feel it from the second they met. It was two peas in a pod.
Well, now we're talking about your daughter Miley and the whole Hannah Montana, what should we call it, phenomenon. When you first got into the Hannah Montana business, did you have any idea that it was going to take off as it did?
So, hi Patricia, hi Malia, hi Ortiz. Rest in peace, Dolly. That's right. She was very much so loved, and we are just taking a moment to honor her life and just think about how she contributed to the world in so many different ways. Like, she wasn't just a singer, she wasn't just an actress or a writer, but she was a human being who had one of the biggest hearts. It seemed like her sole mission in life was to not just be something that people could lift up, but to also be a part of lifting up others. And we care about this Wake Up 207 Maine because, as you said, life does move on, but as it moves on, it's important to honor the lives that kind of contributed to other people while they were here. We got a lot of music out of Dolly Parton. There's a lot of people who learned to read because of Dolly Parton and her literacy program. And what we'll do now is we will go a little bit through her song, I Will Always Love You, because life does move on. But let's go and look at the lyrics of I Will Always Love You.
Still singing karaoke on YouTube? Forget about it.
Forget about singing karaoke on YouTube. Okay, we're gonna do the lyrics of I Will Always Love You. Here we go. Excuse me. Uh-oh. So the lyrics basically said, if I should stay, I would only be in your way. And so I'll go, but I know I'll think of you every step of the way. So when you say life moves on, it's kind of there in those lyrics. And I will always love you. Focus your time on life, not on the dead. That is right. And it's not focusing on the dead, it's focusing on the life of the person who died. So it's no offense, because as her lyrics say, bittersweet memories. That's all I'm taking with me. Goodbye. Please don't cry. We both know that I'm not what you need. And that could be true for a lot of things, Wake Up 207 Maine. Some people are not for everybody. And that's just the way life goes. But I will always love you. I will always love you, is what she said. And I hope life treats you kind. And I hope that you have all you've ever dreamed of. And I wish you joy and happiness. The Lord is the most important. End of time is near. End of time is always near for many reasons. But above all this, I wish you love. And I will always love you. But no man knows the time or hour. We couldn't have predicted that Dolly would leave us today. Even she couldn't have predicted it because, again, she said that she still had so much to give. She had so much that she felt like she still had to do. So those were those particular lyrics of that very special song that was brought back to life at some point by Whitney Houston. When did Whitney Houston sing I Will Always Love You? She did it for the Bodyguard soundtrack. I think that was when she did it in 1992. And let's see if we can hear her thoughts on writing that particular song.
Yes. Good girl, you knew that. That's very rare too. I think I'm probably one of the, if not the only, one of the few artists that's ever had a #1 song on the same song twice by the same artist. But then I had a top 10 duet with it with Vince Gill. So actually, that song won't let me go, and it just lived on. And Whitney, when she did it, she just took it worldwide and made it the most special song in the whole world for a long period of time. And even though it was very, very sad, what happened to her, the fact that they played it over and over during that time, it was very sad. It was very emotional to me. You got emotional. And absolutely, when they lifted her coffin up at that funeral and they went into that song, I mean, I just busted out in tears. It was just like somebody just stuck me in the heart with a knife. It was just so overwhelming knowing that that was my song, my words. It was so final. It was her song. It was like, it was such a mixture of emotions. There was no way you wouldn't respond to that. It just overwhelmed me. And it was just amazing. So I think the both of us will always be, that song will be tagged both of us forever.
And it will. And I don't think I will forget in 3 days. I am, like I said, I have been a big fan of Miss Dolly Parton for a very long time. She used to wake me up in the morning, not personally, but through the speakers, because my great grandma loved Dolly Parton, and just growing up listening to her voice, I think it was a treat, It was something special, and I'm glad that my great grandma did that. I'm glad that she exposed me to Dolly Parton from a very young age. Craig says, I love Miss Dolly Parton. She's a legend. She's really going to be missed. Thank you for the condolences. Wake up 207 Maine. And thank you for all of the wise wisdom and words. I do think that you are right. I do think that life does go on, and it's important for us to go on with life. But I also think that sometimes life pushes us really fast, and we don't get a lot of chances to take just a brief moment to stop, mourn, grieve, and then move on. And because we don't do that sometimes, a lot of times it catches up with us in moments when we least expect it, and things start breaking apart. So that's the whole goal of this. She still looks very, yes, Dolly Parton definitely was a style architect. There is nobody who cannot say that she was not a trendsetter, and I'm not sure if you've ever heard her talk about why she dressed the way she dressed or why she looked the way she looked, but she curated that whole style for a very specific reason. There were some rumors and stuff about her style, and she was like, you know what? Instead of fighting rumors, I'm going to create this look and I'm going to create this style, and I'm just going to, you know, do certain things to enhance it, make it look bigger, bolder, brighter. And then I'm going to give people more stuff to talk about. And she wasn't shy about it. She wasn't shy at all about it. So I'm trying to find, there is a interview she did when she was younger. Dolly Parton, if you want the rainbow, you got to put up with the rain. Exactly. Exactly. Because I don't think I've ever seen a rainbow without the rain. So let's go to one of her older interviews when she's talking to the one and only Miss Barbara Walters, who is also no longer with us.
When I think of hillbillies, am I thinking of your kind of people?
I think you probably are. The people that grew up where I was were the ones that you would consider the little Abner people, Daisy Mae, and that sort of thing. They took that kind of thing from people like us, but we were very proud people with a lot of class. It was country class, but it was a great deal of class, and most of my people were not that educated, but they are very, very intelligent. Good common sense, horse sense, we called it.
Dolly, did you look like this when you were a kid?
Not quite.
I mean, you didn't have the blonde wig, but when you went to school, when you were 11, 12, 13, was it this about you?
Well, you mean the full figure?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, I thought that's what you meant. Well, actually, I've always been pretty well blessed. As a child, I grew up fast. Other members of my family, have done the same.
My assistant asked me something, and I'm going to blame it on her because I wouldn't have had the nerve otherwise. Is it all you?
Well, I can't show you here. I don't tell you.
I'll take your word for it.
I get asked that question. I always answer that back because people are in awe of the whole thing. A lot of people say I have. A lot of people say I haven't. I always say that if I hadn't have had it on my own, I'm just the kind of person that would have had it made.
You don't have to look like this. You're very beautiful. You don't have to wear the blonde wigs. You don't have to wear the extreme clothes, right?
No, it's certainly a choice. I don't like to be like everybody else. I've often made this statement that I would never stoop so low as to be fashionable. That's the easiest thing in the world to do. So I just decided that I would do something that would at least get the attention. Once they got past the shock of the ridiculous way I looked and all that, then they would see there was a part of me to be appreciated. I'm very real where it counts, and that's inside. And as far as my outlook on life and the way I care about people and the way I care about myself and the things that I care about. But I just chose to do this, and show business is a money-making joke, and I've just always liked telling jokes.
But do you ever feel that you're a joke, that people make fun of you?
Oh, I know they make fun of me. But actually, all these years, the people, has thought the joke was on me, but it's actually been on the public. I know exactly what I'm doing, and I can change it at any time. Or I make more jokes about myself than anybody. Because I know, like I say, I am sure of myself as a person. I'm sure of my talent. And to me, and I'm sure of my love and for life and that sort of thing, I'm very content. I like the kind of person that I am. So I can afford to piddle around and diddle around with makeups and clothes and stuff because I am secure with myself.
Listen, tell me about this marriage of yours. This man whom nobody ever seems to see. We heard that he was here. We heard that he was in town, but none of us have seen him. Carl Dean, you don't see him very much. You're on the road most of the time. You've said, I know that this marriage will always last. This man gives me everything I need. How do you know?
Well, I need freedom. The man gives me freedom.
So why get married?
Well, why not?
Why? I mean, if what you want most is freedom, why have a husband tucked away someplace to see 6 weeks a year?
But he has this thing, freedom. See, the thing of it is, you don't find a person that you can be happy with and that can accept you the way you are and can share the things and to plan for the future and to enjoy your home. We have our foundation, we have our roots, we have all the things that everybody's looking for, and that's happiness in a marriage. I've got better things to do than to sit around in my room thinking, oh, what's Carl doing tonight? I wonder if he's with somebody and this and that.
If you don't understand conflict.
So that is, she was in an open marriage. Doctor Who, What, Where? That's my first time ever hearing that part. I never heard that she was in an open marriage. Now I have to do research. I don't know how true that is. Now you have thrown me for a loop. Okay, it says that she described her long-term marriage to the late Carl Thomas Dean as an open relationship, but she clarified that it was not open intimately. Yep, Pikey Mikey. Look at the men. Wait, Dolly Parton had affairs? Now you've made me go completely silent because these are things that I did not know. I've known her from such an innocent place, but she was still a classy lady. It said Dolly Parton never had a physical affair, but she did experience one well-known emotional affair of the heart during the early 1980s. The situation: in the early 1980s, she developed a deep emotional connection with who we don't know, but it said it was rumored to be the band leader, Greg Perry. And then she maintained that it was strictly emotional, never became intimate, and that she had never been with anybody other than Carl Dean. Doctor Who, what, where? You're in here throwing my emotions everywhere because I have been so into Dolly Parton and Carl's love and them holding on to that love for all of those years. And you just came in here and threw a plot twist in the whole love story. But my heart is okay again because it said, no, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It just took me like by surprise because I just know that she loved Carl so much, or they loved each other. It was a two-way street. And so it was just a little bit shocking. I said, oh, the drama. Not Dolly, not Miss Parton. So yeah, no, she only had the one love of her life, who was Carl. And so now they have rejoined each other in the afterlife. So they go on to another lifetime together. And so if there are any last songs that anybody wants to hear, Burt Reynolds tried, but Dolly didn't. I read that too when I was reading through the other parts, but it did say Burt Reynolds. But that is funny because I think Burt Reynolds is married to the girl's mom, Kate Hudson's mom. Is that not true? Am I making this up? I also always thought she was naturally endowed, but she was surgically enhanced. Well, you know, we just watched where she says that she was naturally endowed in a lot of ways, but she did get enhancements. We will never know the extent of how much she was naturally endowed versus what was the additions, but she could have just been one of those slim women who just had really, really big pillows on her chest. Oh, happy birthday, Isaac. Happy birthday tomorrow. I hope you have something really fun planned to celebrate your birthday. And sad that she passed away. Doctor Who, where? You are funny. Burt Reynolds. Let's see. I heard Sylvester Stallone and Kenny. I heard Kenny Rogers. Now Sylvester Stallone, not so much. Burt Reynolds. They were in The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas together. They starred in that film together. And maybe the rumors are because of the songs that they did together, because they did a song together called Sneaking Around. And then she did the I Will Always Love You in the movie that they did together. And then for Sylvester Stallone, who was Rocky, they did a movie called Rhinestone together. So Doctor Who, where it sounds like basically that these rumors are coming from movies that she played in with these guys as co-stars. We did lose a legend today, Joseph Henriksen. And it's bittersweet. We take so many memories of who she was, which we have talked about, just her not being a singer, but she just had such a big heart. She had such a big heart, and she will definitely be missed. And if you did not know Dolly Parton, if you only know like the small things, but quite possible, but she was a precious woman. She definitely was a precious woman. So we are going to take a moment to take a look through some of her best styles. As, let's see, I would like to go ahead and put 9 to 5 back on. She was for the American people. She was a treasure. She definitely was. She was for the American people. I think she just had a heart for people in general. She really Dolly was special, and if anybody says anything different, tell them to come and see me, because I have a totally different story for them. So we're just gonna go through a few of her most classic looks. This is her 60s mod aesthetic. She has on the folk garb and a long sleeve black mini dress. And she loved wearing big hair. And this is her probably on that 9 to 5 promotional tour, but it's also in her Nashville office. Them wigs, those wigs were everything. They were everything. This is probably one of her most toned down wigs that she ever wore. Her face even looks a little bit different right there. It looks a little bit on the thicker side. But oh my gosh, I have to find a video because there's a video when she was really, really young, when she first started singing. She was like a little kid, and she's singing on a banjo. But look at that smile. You know, you can say what you want about the plastic surgeries and stuff, but you cannot craft a smile like that. That is quite a smile. And that's her with Carol Burnett. This is her coming up in her older years. She stayed snatched though. You got to give it to her. She stayed snatched. And as we say, rest in peace to Miss Dolly Parton, I would like to say thank you all for joining me for this live today. That has been my time, and that has been my tributes to honor her life. Thank you so much for commenting and sharing your stories and guessing the names of songs before we got to the end of it. Our condolences are with her family. May she rest in peace, but may she forever live on in each of our hearts. I am Jolly Green, closes us out with a final statement, the most iconic wreck ever. Probably even more than Anna Nicole Smith. Thank you for joining. If you like this video, if you like this live, please be sure to subscribe. Come back and talk to me later.